course, I had to leave. And he was trying to explain stuff. So I don't know what this is about. Should I just load back? Say the only thing I remember from that conversation was poop. Okay, this is where we were.
Ectoplasm. Wait. Nope. Just taro excrement.
Poop.
Heavens, Auntie, you scared the living daylights out of me. Shouldn't sneak up on a man like that. Good way to earn a bullet betwixt the eyes. Guess I should apologize for all that hullabaloo before. Just mistook you for another unfleshly manifestation. Sure as I am, there's a fine tale to be told there. I've got one of my own to share with a more pressing need to address. It all started the other night. Saw a personage leaving the greenhouse late. Figured it for Emily, but when I asked her about it, she didn't know what I was talking about. Happened again the next night. Gave chase that time, but lost them hereabouts. I turned a corner and they'd up and vanished.
Ooh, up and vanished. Okay. So this has something to pertain to the smuggling thing that we're going to be doing at the greenhouse. So I'm glad I talked to him. It's a common burglar.
Or maybe this entity only had the strength to manifest but briefly on this mortal coil. Communication would have proven too difficult for a being of pure information.
Pure information? What is this guy talking about? Spirits?
Strangest part is that foodstuffs have also been disappearing from the greenhouse since we took Fairfield. You think it's all connected? I've knocked on doors, peeped a few windows, respectfully, mind you. And I ain't spied anything more exciting than a chair. But then, a being of pure information probably wouldn't linger on this plane any longer than necessary. Too tiresome, would be my guess. Well, maybe. I still don't know all the particulars, yet. But it's one theory. I certainly won't say no to having a fresh set of lamps on the scene. Just be careful. Hate to see you disappeared like that foodstuffs.
Well, I got my trusty gun. I ain't disappearing.
I'm simply not credulous enough to accept this is where I've ended up. Doing the work of at least 3 lackeys. Or a full half-dozen automechs. Oh, but I'd welcome you, would-be consumer, but we are not a retail operation. Please visit the various consumer locations around Fairfield for all your purchasing needs. I have far too many claims on my time to be able to cater to the curious at the... I was meant to have help, but they lacked the barest amount of gray matter it takes to keep from getting locked up by excessive corporate malfeasance. So, I'm on my own here. Breaking my back, trying to buttress all these vines on top of all my other jobs. Oh, the bits I wouldn't pay for some of those mechs the Protectorate used to work this place. So, is there anything else, or can I get back to work? Really? Feel you're entitled to that information, do you? It doesn't? I know a slew of folks missing pieces of themselves who disagree. All because they weren't bright enough to mind their own business when they clearly should have.
If she threatens me, I'm pretty sure that was a threat. If she threatens me one more time, I'll put a bullet in her head. I don't care.
Quite the setup, ain't it? Before we took Fairfield, Auntie's Choice didn't have anything like this. Every kind of plant we've got was made to thrive in a chemical vat. But the Protectorate grows all their greens the old-fashioned way, with water and soil and actual fertilizer. I can't decide if it's adorably quaint or just plain daft. Then again, they all only have one job, so they have the time to indulge in all those sorts of archaic whimsies. Damn. Research mostly. Some wholesale. And as the base for some small batch, highly exclusive, limited edition retail runs. Though I expect word any day that the big brains in R&D will have tweaked and twisted these plants so they're better than nature. Then we push the new product on the market. And my contract says I get 0.003427% of net after development, testing, packaging, advertising, and distribution costs. So you know, this is a pretty big deal for me. Well, I've got a lot left to do and not much time left to do it in, so you can show yourself out.
I'm really confused on what I should be looking for, though. Say anything in the journal? Okay, so it's not actually. Well, that's stupid. That should say that I should investigate like her house or something.
Corporate life is so confusing. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure, shoot.
Thank you.
Sorry, time is
Outside.
fixed. It's just time. Or are.
I already looked at this stuff. We'll do a different mission, to be honest.
Might I have a word? A word, Commander? I know I've been pushing to find Eps3, so this might seem a bit of a left turn. Avoid it. I'm just gonna ask. Got an old friend here on the island. The doctor who patched me up after Horizon Point. Ex-Protectorate, a good man. Tracked on the Westport a short time ago, but never got up the nerve to visit. Reckon we could drop by and pay him a visit?
Oh,
Brief
hell yeah,
one,
we could
of
pay him a
course.
visit.
Not sure he'd still consider me such, but that's part and parcel of the reason I want to see him. I had some bad years on my own. Now with you here being part of a team, this might sound a mite soppy, but I feel like I could be a proper agent again. That starts with writing accounts. This friend of mine, Zebulon Tran, I let him down. And I've been chewing on that live wire for a while. Too long, maybe. After I recovered from Horizon Point, Zeb and I ran together for a spell, doing what we could to help folks in difficult spots. Fighting protectorate tyranny in small ways. Too small for Zeb, as it turned out. He was unhappy before I showed up, and after, well, all my directorate talk fired him up even more. I had my orders. I was to stay low. Couldn't let the protectorate catch wind of an Earth Directorate agent in its midst. But Zeb, he kept pushing to take more extreme action. Wasn't like I didn't want to take things farther, hit the protectorate where it hurt. But I still had my cover to think of too. I couldn't risk disrupting the mission. I'd feel better about that commendation if things hadn't turned out as they did. We worked hard, but the Protectorate's arbiters and sentinels worked harder. Often than not, our help only made targets of the folks whose lives we were trying to improve. Didn't matter what we did. Arcadia was still caught under the Protectorate's boot. Wouldn't have expected you to see it that way, given all your talk of trusting no one and looking out for myself. But maybe we've both done some growing since then. Anyway, things weren't good. Zeb and I couldn't find the rhythm we had before. We were arguing every day. Eventually, cutting ties just seemed for the best. Clean like. Only later I learned Zeb hadn't given up the struggle like I assumed he would. He got to stay in mental refreshment for his trouble. That's the last I heard of him, till recent. If it weren't for Zeb, I'd be in the ground. It's a debt I never properly repaid. Plus, I don't relish his last memory of me being a vanishing act. I owe him better. And since finding you,
Probably won't even remember you.
well, a lot feels possible now that didn't before. Much appreciated, Commander. Promise, I won't be making a habit of pulling skeletons out of my closet. Westport's on the east side of the island. I tracked Zeb to somewhere on its outskirts, but never got up the nerve to visit before now. We ought to start there.
Ooh, Engineer 3. It doesn't add any, does it? Just base helmet. Well, I guess it's disabled. Watch me climb this. Oh, yeah. I'll go up, I guess. I'll go up and slide around. Not bad. I don't mind machine guns. It's pretty good. Has a little bit of a cape though. Another one? Ooh. Enhancing materials. It's Alright, since we destroyed that, now we're gonna wrap around. Or actually, we should probably go up here and do this. The mental refreshment.
Emergency protocols.
Oh, damn.
Commander, what? Seems nowhere on Paradise Island's going untouched.
Engaging.
What, shooting? Dude, I need foils for crafting. Actually, huge. I'm not gonna be below 50% health, so I'm not really worried about that. So what is there anything I want to buy? I'm definitely buying every bypass I can get and maglock. Buy more shotgun ammo. Just gonna get these out of here because I'm tired of seeing them.
I'll take fighting raps over living in a surveillance state any day.
Look at it jiggle. See, when you see yellow, you gotta jump up, right? I could have just jumped in. That sucks.
Son. Hey you! Get over here before you get yourself killed.
No.
No, you ain't got what I need. And you can't come stumbling around here looking like prey. These raps ain't had a bite to eat since their pods dropped from the look of it. And a desperate rapt is a dangerous rapt. Meant no offense, you ain't one of Auntie's, and from the look of things, the Protectorate here didn't put up much of a fight. Me and Raptidons, we're well acquainted. I know their patterns, behaviors, attacks. Know what gives them an edge around folk who ain't in possession of that knowledge. Which is why I gotta ask, what are you doing here? Yeah? Well, I'm Trooper Silong. Inez, former combat medic, Enhanced Soldier Division. Now just a menial troubleshooter who looks to have gotten her job swept out from under her. They're always counting me out. Every single one of them. And now, they ain't even letting me finish the jobs they send me on. Kinda making it hard to prove myself here. And this rep didn't even have anything that could help my graft. This whole thing's a wash. Sick of it. I know I ain't blaming you. That's part of climbing the ladder. Ain't but one rung at the bottom, and everyone's keen to get a foothold. Can't exactly afford to be picky about the jobs that come my way neither. Considering my condition, options are limited. Well, the only people who believe that are in this room right now, including that dead rapt, I reckon. I'm considered a liability. My graph's all wrong. Most everyone else who got one passed or became permanently incapacitated. So they shuttered the program. It was a total failure. Everyone in Fairfield reckons my time will come soon too. But I'm still mostly upright. For now.
Why they wouldn't take?
I just know I can do more for Auntie and for the war. It's just this damn contract. Unless I can amend it so I might fix my graft, proving myself ain't happening anytime soon. Weren't many of us grafted soldiers to begin with. To think I'm one of the lucky ones. You looked at the fine print of an employment contract lately? It says any action taken by a worker that could result in impeded work must be approved by the contract holder. Not only would trying to fix my graft impede my work, but it's also financially unviable, unproven, a risky investment. So I'm stuck with a limb that's slowly poisoning me. Could pursue fixing it myself were I out of my contract, but if I attempted to end it, I'd have to waive all employment rights for the next year. That's a non-starter. That right?
Go independent.
Suppose if you've been in my position and managed to do well for yourself, could be an option worth keeping on the table, if all else fails. Get the feeling you will. Anyhow, think I'll return to Fairfield to have a little chat with Milver Street. Good luck in there. Mind the raps.
Just me, or did Inez remind you of Helen? Tough. Shame she's made this choice.
Okay, so a lot of dead bodies. We go this way. Okay, we go back.
Engage in hostile
Oh,
This means advance healing yourself now. Confronting threat.
Great. First are in the walls.
Classified information would be of interest.
To Minister Lover Street.
Okay, now that I got the refreshments, pop over here. Let's see what I'll do now. Go here.
Oh, what's this? Non-protectorate personnel just sauntering up onto my porch, free as they please. Admit I'm accustomed to a higher standard of precaution. State your purpose, outsider, or exit yon way you came. Well, that all sounds rather exciting, like something out of an Aetherwave serial. Which I've watched only for official research purposes, of course. Most in the Protectorate don't know what the Earth Directorate is, you know. Suspect you've received a few blank stares if you've mentioned it afore. Anyhow, you travel freely. I'll forgo appealing to your sense of duty, as those outside the Protectorate lack such motivating principles. I presume you accept payment for services? Expect it's as dangerous a job as you make it. One as well-traveled as you appear might even accomplish it during the course of other adventures. The rewards are plentiful and handsome. Rare items, ingredients, cosmetics. Many such baubles fall into my hands, most useless to my research. During recent troubles, unsavory elements removed certain items from my old office. Among them, a series which took considerable time to assemble. Oh, to the point then. A full set of Science Adventures Quarterly has been sold to various unknown parties across the island. I put it to you to find them. Once you have one of the 10 periodicals in hand, I will trade you for rarities and bits. Stay true, outsider.
Oh, okay. She's like a collector. Okay. Because you said I collect things. Leave it at that, don't know. I gotta go down and around. And I'm stuck now.
Sequencing attack strategies.
Louis.
Whoa, Val. Watch where you're pointing that shooter of yours. You've been pitching a little unevenly.
Since the fastball incident of '97, Automechs are not permitted to participate in tossball games, leagues, or tournaments.
I mean, your aim has been off. Wouldn't want you or the group commander here catching any strays.
When attempting to capture a stray animal, approach slowly and quietly. If the animal senses danger, it may grow aggressive.
You know what? Forget I said anything. You're doing great.
No, Jackson, don't! Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly!
I just.
Are you breathing? Say something!
Oh, he did. I just picked up an arm though. Pretty cool.
Allah, I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate an Auntie's choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? He thought those boots would make him fly, but they really just allow the user to jump repeatedly. Unless their downward velocity is too great. If so, well, you see what happens. not nearly as upset as we are. We've been stuck atop this machine since Ida, one of our new Protectorate acquisitions, had her gray matter scrambled by the height, jumped down, and landed right in its gears.
Half your workers just mysteriously jumped off. Okay.
I can't fathom no sensible motive. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. There ain't no way off this platform besides jumping. You've seen how that ends. But you being down there makes you uniquely qualified to help us. The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to... well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our 2 former cohorts. What? It's your duty as a subject
No,
to...
it's not.
No, Liza, remember, you're not Protectorate anymore. So, what have we talked about? A duties only.
Discharged if the disbursement is dutifully deserving. Right. Sorry, I'm just a little flummoxed by being stranded up here.
So, bits, stranger. We'll give you bits if you get us down before we starve. Poor Jackson wasn't raised in the Protectorate with a mind for science, and mistakenly thought the word thrusters meant he could fly. So he jumped the opposite way I told him. They're experimental. We've not laid eyes on them before, but the data we found with them says they were actually designed to let people hop their way up the spire. If you activate the plasma thrusters when you're already airbound, they could give you a fair bit of extra boost.
Thank the Sovereign... thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life utterly absent of starvation.
I gotta go up there. What? It made it seem a lot closer, but okay. Ooh, triple blade. My first blade. This is my parkour journey. Jump that way, but I'm gonna explore here. Greedy. Oh, I died. It didn't grab. I blame it. It didn't grab. I blame. Wasn't my fault. Yeah, double jump, blah, 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 blah. Yep. It's kind of finicky, I'm not gonna lie. It's like it doesn't boost you in the right way. Like it's not like an angle boost. Worth it. Why is there a light over here? Took half my health, wow.
Your buyer crosses Brachythecium rotundulum. They're found in bandages and burn tinctures. If you don't have that drive overloader, testing may be a waste.
Parking right here.
That's it? It was that easy? That was some
Dessert.
impressive climbing. Poor Jackson could have learned a thing or two from you. Starting with the right direction to jump, I suppose. Wonderful. Get us down, and I'll happily compensate you in accordance with standard Auntie's Choice urgently improvised extortive standards.
We've certainly found our way into a most harrowing circumstance, At least I'm glad I'm not alone. He hadn't been here terribly long, so we weren't particularly familiar. Like me, he was also former protectorate, but he was not raised in Fairfield, so we'd never met before. Still, he seemed like a friendly, kind sort, albeit a headstrong one. I'm sorry he's gone. Please do hurry. I've lost count of how many meals we've missed, but it is closer to many than a few, and we're starving.
You do not look starved at all. Pretty cool watchtower, I'm not gonna lie though.
Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
You should pay me extra. Ooh, am I a greedy person, guys? See, I think I'd get my money from selling and looting, so I'm not.
I
too
agree with
worried about
Liza. I'm inclined to keep a few paces from farming equipment from now on. Here's your reward for evacuating us with all our parts intact. I perhaps ain't as awash in currency as I'd prefer, so you can have my helmet as well. It was useful for identifying crops we'd missed in our harvest.
See?
But to be honest, I'd like a little distance from plants for
I get a
spell.
helmet too to sell off. I'm fine. And 350. That's not too bad. That's not too